Hey guys, mulltiy here. Today we talk about Mists of Pandaria, the first, let me say, very early DPS, tier list DPS prediction for Mists of Pandaria Classic. It's right around the corner, I would say. I think Blizzard gave a statement, latest release 31 of August. It seems like the pre-patch is coming around 1 month before, so let us say we expect Mists of Pandaria releasing between middle and end of August, and the pre-patch middle end of July. So it's around 3 months, and then we hop into Mists of Pandaria. So today I want to make the first very early tier list prediction. I will make another tier list prediction right in front of the release, like maybe a week or two before, but today will be kind of the first the first attempt to try to do it as good as possible. A little bit of knowledge from the past, a little bit of data collected from private servers, from other sources, whatever, like for example Warcraft Tavern and so on and so on and so on. So there are already some lists out that you can look at and try to get the info that you want to have. I will go through the list by, like it is here, sorted, like through classes, starting with warrior, then hopping over to mage, and so on and so on and so on. I think that's the best moving forward. So I will basically focus on all Mists of Pandaria with a little bit of priority to phase 1, because I guess that's right now maybe the most important for most of the people. But like I said, I try to cover it a little bit also. Maybe I rank a spec not on the highest point because it's bad in phase 1, and so on and so on and so on. So let's try hop over it. I try to make it a little bit faster. Don't expect a lot of information. I make it a little bit more detailed than close to the release date. So we start here with, I have a list here on my side that I already prepared for sure. We start here with Arms Warrior. Arms Warrior is very good, very late in Mists of Pandaria, but not that good at the start, so I put it in A tier. But don't get me wrong, A tier is pretty high. I also have ES plus, so we will see how we figure it out. So A tier is pretty high. Arms Warrior is a pretty good spec in Mists of Pandaria, so no bad choice if you go for it. Then we have Fury Warrior. It's definitely much less strong than Arms Warrior. I just put it into C tier, so if you want to play Warrior, go for Arms. Fury Warrior has some decent fights, but in general it's not that great. Next one is Arcane Mage, same as for Arms Warrior. It's a pretty strong spec, but there is a better spec for mages, and maybe you can already guess it because I'm not sure how long is it now going. I think since Fire Mage took over Frost Mage in Classic Ankirai or whenever it is, it's always now on top of the mage specs, I would say, and that's continuing into Mists of Pandaria. And again, Frost Mage is pretty weak. You can always debate if it's B tier or even D tier or whatever, but I put it in C tier. It's a solid spec, but not more. Then we come to Rogue. Rogue is in general pretty decent class in complete Mists of Pandaria. Let me just check it here where I put it. Yeah, okay, we have 2 specs in A tier, pretty good specs overall, Assassination and Sub-Rogue, and then we have Combat that is a little bit more weak, but in general all 3 specs play pretty much the same, pretty good. It's maybe also depending on your favorite playstyle, how you can maybe make more damage at the end of the day, so it has to fit your playstyle. But in general, all of these specs are pretty well placed. Then we have Feral. That is interesting already. It's a pretty strong spec. Some could argue a little bit higher, some could argue a little bit more low in the tier list, but I have a very good feeling for Feral Druid, especially going more deep into the expansion. Then we come to Balanced Druid. Balanced Druid, sadly, it's not that good in Mists of Pandaria so far. It can climb, especially when the fight's getting a little bit more fast, when there's more gear, but in general, not a good spec in Mists of Pandaria. Next one are the Hunter specs. Hunter specs, I can directly tell you that we have one very good and one very, very bad one. And let us start with the bad one. It's Marksman Hunter. I think it's maybe the only really spec that I don't recommend anybody to play in Mists of Pandaria. First of all, because it's not that good. It's pretty bad, to be honest. And second, because we have two very good hunter specs with Beastmaster and Survival. Both are very high ranked. Beastmaster, again, also here could you argue, when you only have an S tier, then it's definitely on the top specs. You could also rank it lower, it's a little bit depending on how you want it. I rank it in S tier. For me, it's one of the best specs in Mists of Pandaria. Next one is Elemental Shaman, B tier, middle of the pack. Nothing good, nothing bad. Next one, Enhancer, and here interesting, as more late into the game, as better they get. Kind of the same with Arms Warrior, but I think Enhancement Shaman is already more strong early into the expansion. That's why I rank it higher. So I think you will have a better time overall in Mists of Pandaria playing Enhancement Shaman than Arms Warrior. But in general, these two specs are going very well together, like how they move forward in Mists of Pandaria. Next one, Shadow Priest, good spec in Mists of Pandaria. You can definitely go for it if you are a priest player and you want to go the damage way, and then become to the king of Mists of Pandaria, in my opinion, and that's Affliction Warlock. That's why I made it as plus, because for me it's by far the best spec. By far, it doesn't mean that in most fights or in some fights you make 50% or double of the other specs. No, that's not happening. But in general, from day one to the last day, single target, multi-target, this raid, the other raid, whatever, Affliction Warlock is, in my opinion, always a top 3 spec in many fights. Top 1, the best one. So that's why I rank it in S+ tier. If you love to play Warlock, if you always want to top the, or as much possible, as often as possible, the DPS meter, go for Affliction Warlock. It's, in my opinion, the best spec in whole Mists of Pandaria. Next one, Demo Warlock, pretty decent, pretty good. So why not playing this one? And then Destruction, also here for me. Oh, where did I put it? Sorry. An S tier spec, also very, very strong. So if you can see that already, Warlock, by far, in my opinion, the best class overall in Mists of Pandaria. Then we have the two DK specs, Death Knight, and I'm a little bit hard here on Frost. I think I put it on B tier and I put Unholy in A tier because I see on Unholy some upside, moving even ahead and potentially be one of the best melee specs, like a top 3 melee spec together with Enhancement Shaman and Feral Druid. But I think we also will see is a little bit depending on how many players we have on each different spec. Why? Because Unholy, you saw it, I think, on when Wrath of the Lich King started. A lot of people played Unholy DK, which leads to a lot of information is shared and best practices and everything, and everybody got better. And I have the feeling it could happen again with Unholy DK if a lot of people play Unholy DK and they figure the fights out the best, how to time things, how to time everything, playing a boss fight perfectly. I think Unholy DK can rise into the S tier. Otherwise, I think still a pretty good spec. Next one is Paladin, and I have to say I don't have good news for Paladin player. Yeah, you could also put it here, but I wanted to fill one into the D tier and then do it with Paladin. Not a good DPS spec in Mists of Pandaria, so if you're a Paladin player, you only have this one spec. That's always what makes it for me a little bit sad. For example, thanks God we have with Druid at least one spec pretty high in the list. Shadow Priest is doing pretty well here, but Paladin sadly not. Same for Marksman Hunter, that you could play Beastmaster or Survival. And then we have the new class of the expansion with Windwalker Monk. Pretty good, pretty decent. A lot of people will play it because it's new, it's a good class, so you will see it a lot. Also it has a tank and a heal spec, which also makes it very versatile. So in general, that's nothing bad. And again, it's a good DPS spec, pretty good A tier. right in the middle of the pack. I think it has not really that much upside, so I would say it's more lower on the A tier and has not that potential to rise like Arms Warrior or Unholy DK, but still it's a very good spec. So that's it for today, guys. Like I said, very early, things can change. I will try to get more information. I will release another tier list like 1-2 weeks before the starts happening. Things will change, but I can definitely tell you what will not change. You will not see Marksman in S tier, and you will not see Affliction not on the first spot, to make that clear. So things maybe change from A to B or from B to A, but in general I think this is the look that we have at the moment overall for Mists of Pandaria DPS. That's it for today, guys. See you. Bye bye.